So here we are on the train out of Krakow and over to Warsaw. This is a view from our hotel. You're just going to see remnants of the Cold War. And apparently, once the Soviets took over and much of the town had been obliterated by the Nazis, the German army, it was time for rebuilding. And you'll see that a lot of this stuff is just Soviet era concrete boxes. I don't know a better term for it. But the first thing we did is we went to what's called the Old Town. And the Old Town actually got rebuilt. Again, Warsaw was completely obliterated, or 85% demolished. And when they rebuilt, they decided to rebuild the way things looked before the war. So tons of character in the Old Town section. Highly recommend going there. In fact, it was the first thing we did. Oh, by the way, that little grave was actually Chopin, the composer. That was where his heart was buried. The rest of his body is in Paris. Fun fact. Yeah, so here we are walking in Old Town, and again, it's just lovely. We caught really good weather, obviously. This is in the evening. The train ride was about 3 hours, but this was really fun. And it looks authentic. The buildings actually look like they're, centuries old. So they did a really nice job of it. Why does it look like I'm following this kid? In the video, he just happened to go the same pace that I was with the camera. That was kind of funny. Guess he's world famous now. They got this lady in there too. And that is the old wall, which is actually the new wall, but it was the old city wall. Along with that wall, there was a subsequent wall that was put in several meters to the side to make a two-walled city wall system around old, historic Warsaw. And then in between the two layers of walls, there was a moat. So this gives you a good idea of what it looked like. Again, it was rebuilt, very cool looking. So this is the center square of the Old Town. Really cool, great energy. We had a lot of fun walking around here. Great restaurants, stores. All right, so here we are, beautiful site of Gonojna Gora, and I'm sure I pronounced that wrong. But Mary, could you translate for me? What is that? What does that mean?
Shithill. Why you put your locks of love here? I have no idea.
They have no idea what the name of the hill means, do they?
And people buried themselves in this. Rich people buried themselves in this, right?
It's amazing.
To get rid of syphilis.
Yeah, they buried themselves up to their necks in the debris. This is the dumping grounds of the town. The rich people did. They paid a lot of money because they thought it would cure syphilis, and turns out it doesn't.
Turns out it doesn't.
That's a problem. So this bell, apparently, if you walk around the circumference while holding your hand on the top of the bell the entire way, whatever wish you make will come true. And here's my better half sitting on a Chopin bench. There are, I believe, 15 of them scattered around Old Town, and they actually play music. Here is one of the narrowest apartments in all of Europe. And here is a remnant of the Jewish ghetto wall. And here's a perfect example of Soviet-era architecture, a box made of concrete. And this was the Poland Museum of Jewish History. And not only was it a great history of Jews in Poland, but also just Poland in general and Warsaw specifically. Definitely a must-see. That is a remnant of where the Jewish ghetto wall was. And then this we found, it must have been a palace that once existed that was most likely destroyed via World War II, but we just happened upon this park. It was really kind of neat to see. All right, this is take 3 of this video. We are in rainy Warsaw. Actually, it's been a lovely visit. So this was Joseph Stalin's gift to Warsaw. I'm going to read my little part. The socialist realist wonder was Stalin's gift from the Soviet people and has been controversial ever since. It was called the Palace of Culture and Science, although if you want to see a lot of what the Soviets gave the city, that gray box, that apartment building, there's a lot of those around. When the Nazis destroyed the city and it was rebuilt, a lot of Soviet era architecture. We've got about 20 seconds. What do you have to add to the video, my better half?
That Culture and Science building was inspired by the Empire State Building. They ferried over 5,000 Soviet country workers to complete it over 3 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap. Thank you. Here is the Underground Metro and a Żabka store. All right, this was said to be one of the top things to do at night in Warsaw, so we are going to try it. Down by the train tracks and the train station. Let's check it out. This is pretty cool. Well, we'll see how it goes. Grab something to eat, something to drink. Pretty cool. The waffles were great, by the way. And before we left, we snuck in a visit to Park Leżenkowski. So this is absolutely lovely. And this is our last stop before we hop on the train and go to Berlin. But this is the Palace on the Isle. And technically, I do believe this is an island. Yep. Pretty cool. Definitely worth the walk. It's about 30 minutes from our hotel and city center. But absolutely beautiful, especially since you figure this poor city started from square one in the 1940s. So thank you for joining us on another edition of Travel is Cool by Jam. Please subscribe, like, comment, and we are on our way to Berlin.